Hi everyone, Mary here from CROYDEN CROCHET. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet the loop stitch. This is an easy stitch that creates a really pretty texture. Before we get started, I just wanted to remind you to please subscribe to my channel and to hit that notification bell so you get notified as soon as I upload a new video. Alright, so I also just wanted to mention that this is the same stitch that I used in my Misty Pine scarf. I will put that picture up for you so you can see what that looks like. If you are interested in this free pattern, it is on my blog. I will put the link to that blog post in the description if you are interested in that pattern. Alright, so to get started on the loop stitch, you need to make a chain in a multiple of 2 plus 1. So for this swatch, I'm going to make a chain of 20 and then I will add one more chain for a total of 21 chains. So to make a chain, we're going to yarn over and pull through. That's 1, 2, 3, and you're just going to continue making chains until you have reached a total of 21. Okay, so I just finished making my 21 chains. So now we're going to get started on our first row. So to get started, we're going to insert our hook into the third chain from our hook. So here's 1, 2, and then 3. So this stitch right here. So we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Then we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that next chain, and pull up a loop. You will have 4 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 4. That is your first loop stitch. Then we're going to chain 1, and this chain 1 sort of secures your loop stitch. And then what we're going to do is we're going to insert our hook into that next chain, yarn over and pull up a loop. So you'll have 2 loops on your hook. Then we're going to yarn over first, insert our hook into that next chain, yarn over and pull up a loop. We'll have 4 loops on our hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. Then we're going to chain 1 to secure. So every time that you make a loop stitch, you're going to chain 1. And the reason why we do this is because essentially when we make our loop stitch, we're combining 2 stitches. So we kind of have to make up for that stitch that's lost, and by doing that we make our chain 1. So we're going to repeat this across our chain, just inserting our hook into that next chain and pulling up a loop, then yarning over, inserting it into the next chain, pulling up a loop, 4 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. Then we're going to chain 1, and we're just going to repeat that all the way across the chain until you have 1 chain left. Okay, so I'm coming up on my last chain. I have 1 chain left, and I just finished my last loop stitch right here. So I'm going to chain 1, and then in this last chain I'm going to make a single crochet. Okay, so here is what your first row looks like. Alright, so we're going to move on to row 2. So we're going to chain 2, then we're going to turn our work, and then in this first stitch, which is your single crochet from your previous row, we're going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, and then next right here is your chain 1 from your previous row. So you're going to insert your hook into this chain 1 or underneath. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. You'll have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 4. Right? There's your first loop stitch. Then we're going to chain 1, and we're just going to repeat that. So insert your hook into that next stitch, pull up a loop, then we're going to yarn over, insert your hook underneath that chain 1, pull up a loop, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, oops, and pull through all 4, just like that. Then we're going to chain 1 like we do after every loop stitch, and we're just going to repeat that across the row of inserting your hook into that next stitch, pulling up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook underneath that chain 1, and pull up a loop, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, and then don't forget to chain 1. So we're going to repeat this across the row, and I will meet back up with you. Alright, so I just finished working across my row, and I have come to my last stitch here. And then if you see right here, you still have what looks like a little stitch, but this is actually your 2 chains that you skipped in the beginning when we worked in our 3rd chain from our hook. So what we're going to do is, this is your last loop stitch that you just made. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip this last stitch here, and we're going to work a single crochet in the top of this sort of chain 2 here. Just like that, and that finishes off row 2. Alright, and row 3 is very similar to row 2. So we're going to chain 2. And I just want to mention that this chain 2 does not count as a stitch. And then we're just going to repeat what we did in row 2. So in this first stitch here, which is our single crochet that we just made, we're going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, then we're going to yarn over, insert your hook underneath that chain 1, pull up a loop, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 4 loops. Chain 1, and we're just going to repeat this across the row until you get to 1 stitch left, and then I'll show you what you will do to finish the row. Okay, so I'm coming up on my last stitch here, so I'm going to chain 1, and then we have our loop stitch here, which is our last stitch, and then this, we have a chain 2 here that we made in the beginning of our last row. So what we're going to do is work a single crochet in the top of this chain 2. Just like that. So here we have 3 rows of the loop stitch worked, and just to kind of show you a little bit of how it looks after a few rows, I'm going to show you the scarf pattern that I have, and this is the loop stitch worked up row after row after row. So you can see how it creates just this really pretty texture just from that 1 row of repeat. And then you can see that I just added a little bit of fringe to this scarf. So this is basically just one big swatch of what we worked up here. So I really hope that you guys like the loop stitch. It's a very easy stitch. It's a very relaxing stitch. You can certainly complete this scarf or any other project you want to use the loop stitch for, just while watching a TV show or listening to the radio. Like I said, it's just a very easy stitch, and it's also a great stitch for beginners. So if you have any questions about working up this stitch, please, like always, you can ask a question in the description below, and I will do my best to answer you and help you. Thanks, everyone. Be sure to click the subscribe button to my YouTube channel to receive all of my latest videos and updates.